Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. If you are new to the channel, welcome. This is Richard from WELSHYTECH, and today we have the Silent Loop 3 from bequiet. Okay then, so yes, I'm a little bit late, but this is the Silent Loop 3 from bequiet. Just the overall look gets me excited. So let's open it up and have a look in the box. Okay, so first of all, we're greeted with the fans, which are the Silent Wing fans. These ones are fantastic. They are the Silent Wing Pro fans. Well, not, or just the Silent Wing 4s. So let's have a look at the include accessories, which seems to be quite a lot, actually. Wow. Okay, there's actually a lot of them. Right, whoa. Okay, so that's to mount the fans to it. What is this? Okay, what is this? So look. Okay, looks like a mounting bracket. Could be for TR4 maybe, I don't know. Right, so got all the bracketry here for Intel and AMD. We've got thermal paste for there. I still don't know what this is for. It looks like TR4? Might? No, I don't know. I don't know. Let's get the accessories away now. Oh, it does come with a fan splitter too, which is cool. Right, these are the fans. Now I have looked at these fans before. I've actually got some here. These are very good quality fans from bequiet. Do the ends come off like the other ones? Yes, they do. Okay, so just like the other ones, if you buy these individually, of course, they do come with different accessories, and also the cable's a little bit nicer, but these are very good quality fans. So let's get these fans out now, out of the packaging. Put there. Put that in there. Put that in there. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's the manual. So it does come in a 240, 360, and a 420. A lot of brands lately are starting to go 420 for some reason, but I understand why, because it was actually very important back then for 420s. So, right, let's have a look. Okay, so AM4 and AM5 is the same bracketry to install. Now, I need to find out what that bracket's for. Okay, no. Okay, so what's this one? Oh, yeah, thought so. It's for Threadripper, so that's actually quite cool. And of course, then it tells you about everything else, like the pump, the overall bracketry, how to install it, all in there. Then that. Get the fans out. Right, let me get the fans out and all the packaging off, and then we'll have a look at the AIO itself. Okay, so one of the best things about bequiet AIOs is they are actually serviceable on the AIO itself. Now, this has been a thing with bequiet, essentially. They have actually always allowed this in all their AIOs. So if you've seen a video with Jay, then him being so excited, it's not really an excitement, because this has been a thing with bequiet for actually quite a few years. They do allow you to maintain the coolant inside. So let's have a look at this. Okay, standard radiator, no embossed bequiet there. And then it's got a weird pump at the bottom, pump or block. Wow, that's weird. That's definitely something new from bequiet. I've never seen that. Pumps. Then we've got ARGB for the pump head, and then it's 4-pin PWM. Fantastic. So as I get into the specs. Okay, so the weight is 1,770 grams. The socket it does support is 1851, 1700, 1200, 1150, 1151, and 1155. That's all the way back to P67. AM4, AM5, TR5, XTR, X4, and TR4. That's all the Threadripper lines. As for the radiate dimensions, it's 397 by 120 by 27, 27 being the thickness. It's an aluminium, black spray painted aluminium. The copper, the base beer is a copper nickel plating. The pump speed is 3,500 RPM with a pump connector, a 4-pin with ARGB. That's for the block there. Now, as for the fans, these are very good high pressure fans. These do go up to 2,500 RPM. The airflow is between 76.7. Okay, so when it comes to the overall air pressure, the airflow is between 76.7 and 130.3. Wow. The air pressure itself is 3.96 with a safety current amp at 0.2 with a 3-pin connector, and it does have a lifespan of 300,000 hours. So let's get this installed, shall we? Okay, so installation is rather straightforward. You get 4 plastic standoffs that you do just put in. You just put them on the standoffs like that, that, and like that. Very easy. Now, specifically with the way bequiet does their coolers, you want to make sure it's facing that way, because that's how it's going to actually mount. So all you do, much easier if you just do it with 2 screws at once. Obviously, if you've got AM4, you will be holding the back plate while you do it. So just want to tighten it a little, and then tighten it down. And then you repeat the same process with the other side, just like this. Okay, and that is actually done for the mounting bracket. Now I'm going to show you how to do the actual mounting of the block itself, but first we need thermal paste. Now this is the thermal paste I use specifically for testing. This is the Polymer Therm Exit 10. This is the one I use for all of my CPU as well as AIO reviews. So now, of course, application is going to be personal preference. Personally, I've tried every application there is, and I have maybe a 1 to 2 degree difference in some cases, but it's so negligible you're not really going to notice. So what you want to do now, this does go in only one way, and it's this way. So what we want to do is place it down, put it like that, one side, like that, one side. Now I would suggest tightening one side down first, like that, right? Get it situated in position, and then like that, and then you tighten it until you're all the way down. Okay, and that's actually done. Now, as for the headers you're going to need for like the pump and the fans. Now, as you can see by there, I've already got that one plugged in. That is the actual fan header by here, which will have underneath it CPU fan. That's where you use the included splitter for these fans, and then you just plug it in to that header which says CPU fan, just like that. Then obviously with this particular motherboard, the pump header is actually situated right above it, so just plug it out, and it says pump fan on the top but there on the motherboard itself. So all you do really is just plug it in, and that's pretty much it for the installation. This is the Silent Loop 3 at 50% fan speed. Very, very quiet at 50%. Same thing, but 100% fan speed. Definitely a lot louder, but it's not the loudest AIO I've ever heard. Okay, so what system did I use for testing the Silent Loop 3 from bequiet? Well, it is my AM5 platform. It's a Ryzen 9 7900 with PBO enabled. It's a B650 motherboard. It's got 32 gigs of A-Pacer DDR5. It's got a 1000-watt Kolink power supply, and it's well got an RX 7800 XT Nitro Plus from Sapphire. And it's also housed in the bequiet Shadow Base 800 FX with 4 140 Lightwing fans. Okay, so as for the room temperature, before we start anything, the temperature of the room is 16 Celsius, did go up to 21 Celsius after testing. Now, as for what tests I did, it's my normal runner benchmark, Cinebench, Blender, Pavilion, Blender Classroom, and 3D Mark test. Why? It's because they do hit the CPU in different aspects. So, for 50% fan speed with a CPU power draw of 167 watts at high and low at 152, with a CPU clock at 5.4 and a low at 5.1, so you're not losing any performance there. So as for Cinebench R23, the idles are 34 Celsius with a normalized test that's leaving the liquid inside fully saturated with a 20-minute run, and the normalized test was 85 degrees. Now, as for Blender Pavilion, the idles are 34, exactly the same thing, normalized test. The max was 84. Blender Classroom, idles 34 with a max of 84 again, and 3D Mark CPU test, idles 34 with a max of 76 Celsius. Okay, so when it comes to the 100% fan speed, now the CPU power draw was actually up a little. It was at 170 watts. The low was actually a little bit higher as well, at 157 watts. And the CPU clocks, they didn't change, that which is good, at high at 5.4 with a low at 5.1. Now, as for the testing, the CPU for Cinebench R23, now I did record the idles at 32 Celsius with a max of 82. That's normalized testing once the liquid has had time to saturate. Blender Pavilion, idles 32 with a max of 81. Blender Classroom, idles 32 with a max of 82. And 3D Mark test, idles 32 with a max of 64 Celsius. Now, what I'm going to do is put up a graph right after here and show you which one, or even if this is on the graph when it comes to some of the best AIOs I previously reviewed. I will be including like the AIOs from Thermalright, like the ones with the screen. It's because they're still an AIO, so it does matter. And of course, then we'll get into the rest of the video. So make sure you continue to watch, because this is where the graph is going to show up. Okay then, so what's the actual final conclusion? Should you buy this? Well, this is definitely one of the top AIOs that I've actually got on my graphs. And saying that, compared to what Thermalright does, yes, you are paying a bit more than what Thermalright actually offers. But what I will tell you is you are getting the bequiet customer support, and you're getting that excellent German engineered quality. The fans, they're fantastic. They're some of the best fans on the market, especially for static pressure and airflow. And then you've got the new actual base plate redesign. They've redesigned the whole base plate, as you can see, but there's completely different offset, and it only goes on one way. And personally, I do like the overall design. Now, whether you want to buy it or not, I'm going to leave that up to you. But if you do, I will be leaving links down below for the 240s and the 360 versions, because they do have a 420 version of this particular AIO. So, yeah, whatever you take from that is up to you. But make sure you subscribe, because I do have something from Thermalright coming Saturday. It is the Peerless Assassin Digital. So make sure you subscribe for that. And I hope you guys have a fantastic week and weekend ahead of you. This is Richard for WELSHYTECH. Goodbye.